Hello again and welcome back. In this lecture, you're gonna learn how to create a website custom audience. And this is going to be the first custom audience that we learn how to create. Now, a website custom audience is very exciting because you're able to take the traffic coming onto your website and you can filter which type of traffic that you want and then showcase your ads to them. That is, you can use your ads and target those people specifically. Very powerful. Let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is move up to the business tools up here and then go down until you find something that says audiences. It's easy to find. It's right below Ads Manager right there. So we're going to click on audiences. And from here, we're going to go ahead and click on create a custom audience. And now this is where it gets a little bit exciting, right? Because there are two types of different custom audiences. There is the custom audiences where you use your own sources, and then there is the ones where you use the Facebook sources, right? So when you're using your own sources, such as for your website, for an app, for a customer list, or for an offline activity where you upload it yourself, well, that means that you need to upload the material yourself. So for example, for a website, that means that we need to have a pixel installed so that the pixel can actually fetch that audience. For an app activity, well, that means that you need to have an app and then have that app installed here so that it works like a pixel and it can fetch the audience. Customer list, well, that means that you need to upload that list of customers yourself, and offline activities, same thing. You need to have all of that information uploaded yourself, right? But the difference is with Facebook sources, for example, let's say video sources, well, Facebook has already saved down all of that information if someone has been watching a certain video of yours. So then, since Facebook already saved it down, you can just target those directly. No need to install anything, no need to do anything specifically. So all this, including Instagram, since Facebook owns Instagram, are very easy to use. These usually require that you do something specific. But we are going to start off with website, right? And we've already done the work ahead of this. So we're gonna click on website here. And now this is where it gets exciting, right? Because remember, we installed a pixel in here, the R&J Deals pixel, and that means that now we can use that traffic. So we're going to start from the very top and then work our way down so we understand how to withdraw the traffic that we want to withdraw, right? First off, we have include people who meet any or all of the following criteria, right? So that means that if you choose any, well, that means that then you, as long as you complete one of the following criteria, you're going to be added to as an audience to this list. But if you choose all, that means that if you put multiple criteria, they need to complete all of those criteria in order to be added in as an audience into this custom audience, right? So we're going to stick with any, it's the default option. And then once we have our pixel selected, it's going to be easy. Most likely you only have one. We get to choose all website visitors, or we can select people who visited specific web pages, right? And then after we've selected our pixel, we have the option of all website visitor or some other option here. We're going to go through those. But starting off with all website visitor, this is just as easy as it sounds, right? So everyone who's entered the website where you installed the pixel, those will count as traffic. The only option that you need to set here is when do you want them to count as traffic? For example, do you want it to be in the past 30 days, in the past 60, 90, all the way up to 180 days? Now understand that there is a reason to why you might not want to cap this out at 180 days. So for example, if you added in any specifically new products, or if you revamped your site, or if you perhaps have had your site for a long time, then perhaps you're more interested in having fresh traffic, right? If you're going to be targeting people who might not be as targeted as you like because they're too old and you've done too many changes, then chances are you want to kind of leave those be. Now, if you target people who have been visiting your website within the last 30 days, that's going to be a different situation because that means it's going to be relatively fresh. They're going to be relatively accustomed and remember your website, right? So the past 30 days is usually the general. Now, if you're starting out and you don't have a lot of traffic, then, or if you want to create a lookalike audience later, it can be a good idea to up this to 180. I think, yeah, maximum time is 180 days. So that's not a bad idea. But once you start getting some serious traffic, like some really serious traffic, then capping this to 30 days is not a bad idea at all. So to summarize that, starting off, you might want to add this to 180 because you're going to have very little traffic. But then as you go in and as you start getting a lot of traffic, say in the hundreds and thousands per month, for example, then you want to cap this to the past 30 days. Now, next up, beyond all website visitors, we also have people who visited specific web pages. This is super interesting and super important because here we can do some really interesting marketing, right? So say, for example, that we are at our website in here, and then let's say that we only want to target people who are interested in our earrings. Well, simple enough. All we need to do then is go ahead and write earrings in here. Why? Well, because it says that the URL needs to contain the word earrings. And look at this. If I click on earrings in here, well, that means that now it says rnjdeals.com/collections/earrings. So it does not matter what comes ahead here or what is between. As long as the word earrings is included, everyone who visits this website because it has the word earrings is going to be added as a custom audience, right? So that also means that if you make an ad for this and they click on this ad, now check this out, now you have the word earrings here and then product and boho leave earrings. Well, because it has the word earrings in it still, even in here, that means that it's still going to be added as a custom audience, right? So that is good to know because that means that you can get really, really specific. Similarly, you could do the same with bracelets, for example. But also, if you want to have everyone who is visiting any of your products, well, if you have a site like a catalog here, you're gonna notice that it says collections in here. Well, it says collections/all. And you also notice if you click on earrings, it says collection. And if you click in on this item, it still says collections in here. So if you wanna target all of the people who visited any of your items in your store, well, then you remove that one and you just write collections. And there you go. Now you can also add in multiple things. So if you wanted to be more specific, you could write earrings and bracelets if there were more sections, for example, and you just wanted to target those. Similarly, if we are on this website and we only want to target the traffic who are interested in courses, well, then you click on courses here and then you see the URL that pops up. And chances are that it's going to say courses, right? So looking here, we can see, oh, it says courses in there. So then all I need to do is go back and write in courses, and then I'm going to be targeting only the people who visited the courses section of the website. Very powerful, right? Now, what we could also do is add in something that says and also in here. Well, that means that it also needs to match something else. So say, for example, that we were interested in marketing, let's say all of our Facebook courses. Let's see, I think we have, there we go, our Facebook courses. Well, then if I click on here, it's probably going to have a Facebook link, right? Well, the thing is with that, now these are connected to Udemy, by the way, but if we had our own landing page, clicking here, then that would have the word Facebook in it. But the problem is that if I would add in, for example, just Facebook in here, well, that means that if I had any, for example, blog post about Facebook or Facebook marketing or Facebook ads or whatever, well, then those would also be included as traffic. So what I want to do is be more specific. And to be more specific, I could do, for example, the URL needs to contain Facebook and it also needs to match courses, right? Because that makes sense, because in the courses section, it's going to say courses. And if I click on Facebook here, well, then it's going to say /courses/Facebook, blah, blah, blah. Just as in with the collections. You go into collections and then it says boho earrings and then it says bracelets, blah, blah, blah. So this is a way to make sure that you're only getting what you're actually aiming for. Now, similarly, if I would have added in courses here, well, then it only needed to target Facebook or courses. But now when I added in this one, it needs to have the same URL and also match. Well, that means that it has to have Facebook and the word courses in it, right? So this way we can get really specific. Well, using this, we can also do something that is known as remarketing. So what is remarketing? Well, remarketing is that you market to people who has already visited your website once. Well, that is what remarketing means. The word re means again. So think of, for example, remind. That means to mind someone again. Re means again. So remind, mind again. Remember. Well, member is actually a Latin word that means mindful. So remember means to be mindful again. Similarly, remarket means to market again. All right, so if we want to market again, and this is a very old strategy, but very powerful, what we could do, for example, is understand, okay, when we want to market to someone, again, we want to market to, say, people who almost bought one of our products. So let's say that they went to the checkout. All right, there we go. And you're gonna know that it says checkout because if you go and you add to cart one of your products and then you go to checkout, it's going to say checkout in the URL, just like we've been watched before. So you want to target people that it says checkout. I'm gonna remove this, but then we want to exclude people who have actually bought our products, right? So I'm gonna click on exclude people here. I'm going to use the same pixel and the people who visited a specific web page, and then down here I'm going to write, for example, a thank you. But that is assuming that you have a thank you page. Your page might be called purchase completed, for example, whatever that page is called. So now by excluding this, we're remarketing to people who added something, went to the checkout, but did not complete the purchase, right? So your targeting on your website custom audience is always dependent on understanding the navigation of your website, which is very easy to do, right? You just click around and then you grab the URL from here. Now, similarly, if we only wanted to target people or remarket to people who have bought something from us, well, guess what? We would just add a purchase completed here. Or if you have a thank you page or whatever you might have. Now, remember, if you have a purchase completed for specific products, then you would need to click on further refine by here, right? And then further refine it so it needs to match more things. So it's a very simple way to do. You can be very specific with this. Now, if I remove the exclude here, I'm just gonna click that away. We also have something that says include more people. Well, include more people basically means that you also can match in, for example, another pixel in here, but you can also add in people who visit a specific website and then add in further people here. So then it needs to meet this or this criteria. So you add in more specific criteria, right? It's an option that you have as well. And then if we remove this as well, we look in the contains, it can also have doesn't contain. So you could also add in doesn't contain, for example, thank you, or purchase completed. So then it's going to remove all of those. Or collections, if you only want to maybe target people who went to blog posts, etc. And it also can have equals. And equals means that it has to be the exact value that you write in here. Now remember, contains only means that it needs to contain it. In other words, it only needs to contain it wherever it is, whether it's in the early part or in the end of the URL, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's for people who visit a specific web page. And then we also have visitors by time spent, right? So that means the people who spend a lot of time on your website, they're also worthwhile to target to. And you can have in the top 5, the top 10, or the top 25%. You can also click on specific websites. So you just add in the URL of where you want to target those people. So again, if it is people who are interested in your product, you would add that URL in here, for example. Then we have people from your events, right? We have page view and we have lead. Now we're going to play around more with the pixel events later on. Like when you have the pixel, you can set up different events. So if someone purchases something on your website, you can program the pixel so that it fires in a specific way, or someone signs up on a specific lead. So once you have done that, which we're gonna do later, we can also add those people in from those specific events. We have the page view right now and we have the lead, right? So let's say that is from people who trigger the page view event, then we just use that one and then we create an audience from that, right? So those are all of the different options. So for now, all I would do is start off with all website visitors. And since we have very little, I'm just gonna go ahead and add 180 days. Because we're not going to have a lot to begin with. And then the name of your audience is just going to be all website visitors, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and click on create audience. We can add a description, but I think this explains itself, right? And I click on create audience. And now we have a different look in our audience view, and we just created our first audience. Now it says size is pending, right? Because it's still collecting, and the size is probably going to be pretty small. So we're not going to have much use of this, but we are going to look at how to still use this to create lookalike audience later on, and then how to use all of these different audiences that we're creating to add them into different ads and how to target those people specifically, right? So this is how you target and create website custom audiences. Very easy, very fun. Let's move on to the next one. See you in the next lecture.